So is this premium Bandai exclusive metal build figure actually worth $300? So right here we have the shipper box for the premium Bandai metal build Astraea 2. Very standard for premium Bandai metal build. And here we have the box underneath. So this is actually a very nicely designed package. You can see right here on the side. I think this is a box worth keeping. It's got some very nice photograph of the Astraea 2, which is somewhat of a decent looking suit, in my opinion. And of course, inside we have the Astraea 2 and the styrofoam cardboard style coffin to protect the figure, because this is a high-end collectible premium flagship item. Yeah, so essentially, Metal Build is a subline of the Bandai's Chogokin product line, which is basically their flagship product. Metal Build, in my opinion, most people's opinion, is basically a higher end version of Chogokin. Usually when they want something made very quickly, they would go the Chogokin route. With Metal Build, they spend some more time in R&D to make sure the items are, of a slightly higher standard. So yeah, it's basically the premium of the premium stuff. All right, so here we have the instruction manual. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here we have all the parts that come with the Metal Build Astraea 2. So the Astraea 2 is actually not the Astraea 1. They built this suit from ground up. I think in theory, this is the predecessor of what becomes the unit known as the Double O Gundam. So this was originally implemented as a test type for the twin drive. But you wonder, where are the twin drives? But you only have a condenser up here, right? Yeah, you will see how the twin drive system kind of, how it comes to be by looking at parts on this figure. So anyway, let's go through some parts here from the manual. You can see everything here. I'm going to go through it again, with the actual figure. But this thing shows you, what you can do with the figure, which some parts are actually really interesting. You can actually take apart the armor on the bicep. And the articulation is somewhat interesting. I think it's easier to look at the articulation via the instruction manual than actually have to fiddle around with the figure itself. Because, some parts could be very problematic due to tightness and stuff like that. So you can see the backpack. You got the double O's backpack. These parts can all be swapped out, which is actually really cool. And then he's got a very unique style, very UC-like beam saber compared to the double O ones. They're usually like, very rectangular and angled. And you can see right here we have the beam rifle. Half of this beam rifle is actually parts from the double O style, GN Source style beam rifle. But this one here isn't like more of a traditional looking beam rifle. As you can see, the parts can be slipped apart. So with the double O, they basically just remove this whole section and you get the blaze section. And it still shoots. You also have a shield that's very reminiscent of the double O as well. This one, instead of having the sharp tip, this one's more like an angle tip, more like a traditional shield. And he can also use accessories from the Exia and the Dynamis. So, yeah. What's also really cool is the part from this GN shield section. If you're familiar with the double O, this is where the GN drive connects to the backpack unit, and then the O-riser, parts of the O-riser can dock onto this section. So that's pretty cool. You can swing that forward, and this unit you can actually remove. This is the GN condenser part. And back here we have more what you can do with it. This is actually connect the whole unit to the backpack itself. Also have connection parts where you can connect the shield from the Dynamis. And he also have a very distinctive piece that go on the forearm, which allow you to attach the GN shield in the different configuration. Also comes with tools to remove the GN condenser bits, so you can attach this specific part. This allows you to mount the GN pistols in the the holster configuration. And we also have stuff you can do with the stand. You can see right here we got several adapters for the stand. This is the one that they recommend that you use because potentially the weight of the figure is actually very, very hefty. It's actually heavier than the double O and significantly heavier than the Exia. So they recommend that you use the extra adapter for this unit. Also come with various adapter pieces, so you can attach various parts like the arms to connect various different accessory in case if you need to prop up the rifle. I can tell you the joints are actually very solid on this figure, so you don't actually need all these shenanigans. This would actually be useful if you need to prop up the Proro XN unit. But I can tell you, I am not a fan of that unit. I actually bought it as an accessory to this kit, this figure, but unfortunately I got rid of it because I just don't think it's even worth $80. So that's not going to be part of this review, unfortunately. All right, so you also come with this very unique adapter right here. This actually attached to the back of the unit to allow you to connect the GN drive to it, which is very cool. I am actually borrowing my the Metal Build Exia that I traded to my local comic shop to do this review. So I'm gonna show you guys what you can do with it. Also can use the backpack for the Devise unit. You can have the backpack for the Devise Dynamis on it, or you can have the backpack for the Devise Exia. That's actually pretty cool. The name of the game here is compatibility. So basically this figure has been designed from the ground up to allow various different configurations, which adds to its play value. All right, so it's also compatible with the highly, extremely expensive, probably over $700 at this point. The GN Arms unit, the giant backpack thing for Exia. So you can see all the parts from the GN Arms can be attached via this new adapter right here, and then you can attach this guy to the GN Arms. Even come with its own unique adapter to attach the feet directly to the GN Arm unit. And yeah, it's got a very nice artwork here of it kneeling down. So all right, I think I spent way too much time with the accessories, the manual. Let's go ahead and take a look into the accessories. So in this tray right here, we have the stand, which is very basic. If you have bought metal build figures in the past, this tray usually look the same with almost all the metal build figures. So we have these special adapters. These allows you to attach the clear translucent arm to prop up extra accessories, to enhance the look of the figure. Although I think this thing is, in my opinion, kind of stupid. But anyway, here we have it. We have the Gundam Astraea 2 right there. Not the Gundam Astraea, just Astraea 2. And we have the name of the pilot. Yeah, apparently the pilot is Tyria. So it's not piloted by anybody else. All right. All right, so in the first tray, we have the major accessories for this figure. Now, one thing to note, especially for this figure, is that these things came with these special adapters that allow these the beam rifle to be attached to the forearm via these sockets. Because without these adapters, the beam rifle's peg will not fit into the forearm. These are specially enlarged in this format for compatibility reasons. That way, they design it so you can give this beam rifle to like another figure like the Exia or the Astraea 1. So that's actually very interesting. And let's go ahead and continue talking about this piece. We have the hands. These are pretty standard for metal build. We have the tool piece. This allows you to swap out the GN condenser on the bottom if you want to go with the hardpoint adapter. So you can attach like you can actually attach a shield to this piece right there for a different look, or you can attach the GM pistols from the Dynamis to these sections, or the other Astraeas, because some of them actually came with the all the accessories. Now this piece is actually very unique. This piece actually attached directly to the back of the unit, and this allows you to attach the GN drives or the adapters for the GN arms, or the unit from the Devise Exia and Devise Dynamis. And here we have the second GN condenser. You have one of them on the shoulder, and then you have one of them here. This is all compatible with the other figures as well. These are the adapters for the GN arms, if you want to attach the feet to the GN arms. I don't have the GN arms. I don't plan on getting the GN arms. We also have another adapter piece. This allows you to attach like the shield from the Dynamis to the backpack. I'm going to flip this guy around and show you guys the rest of the configuration. And then here we have the extra parts. So this is the adapter unit, when you have the XN unit on it, because it creates a lot of weight on this figure, and potentially, that little stand piece right here underneath. This thing might not be strong enough to hold it up, so that's why they included this piece to increase stability. And I have actually taken out these parts to attach this arm piece right there. It changed the look a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, Unfortunately, this piece is not compatible with anything else besides the double O. I think you can actually put this on the double O. So if you want like a mismatched color piece on your double O Gundam, this is definitely something you can do. I would think like a lot of parts on this figure actually would be compatible with the double O Gundam, because it's actually kind of a fusion between the Exia and the double O, because not all the parts here are actually just from the double O. It's like they change things a little bit, and then they also tweak things a little bit. It's actually pretty unique on its in its configuration. So I would say it's about 60% a new figure versus just a whole bunch of mismatched reused parts from the previous two figures fused together. Alright, so before I forget, this unit actually allows you to attach this directly to the shoulder right there. This is an adapter, and then this other adapter allows it to attach to the backpack. And right here we have the beam saber, the beam saber effect part attached to it. Looks really cool. And I do want to talk about the back of the unit right here. So you can see this is actually the backpack from the Gundam 00. And it has a lot of features. So basically right here, you have this is brand new part right there. That is the beam saber rack. You can actually remove this. If you have a second piece right here that matches this part, maybe you can create like a version of the 00 in this configuration. But I don't know. You might have to buy another Astraea 2 to get another one of these pieces. And then you have to source another part that's similar to this arm right here. Probably can get it off the 00 actually. Yeah, so if you have the 00, you can definitely like mix and match parts, and then probably trying to create like a very weird looking version of the Astraea 2. I don't know if these parts come off, if they can. I don't know if there's a way to make a symmetrical version of the head. But, you can always 3D print parts. So that's definitely something, to consider if you want to make something closer to the 00. But yeah, this is a very very unique look, and there's plenty more here. So the shield here can be removed, and they can be merged together to create one shield, just like the double O. So here's the shield in this configuration, and then this can just attach to the forearm like that, or you can split them apart and attach them in this configuration. It's a pretty unique look. I think it has more coverage than, in this traditional form. Also a hard point on the back here. You can also attach more parts to the back of this thing. So basically you can just stack this guy up with tons and tons of accessories to make it look completely ridiculous, if that's what you want to do. Now changing the backpack here, this has actually changed the look of this unit quite significantly, because this is a feature that the Double O do not have. This is a back unit that's very similar to the Exia. However, it significantly extends the back of the unit. So when you have the GN drive or anything attached to it, it just looks like, it's got an extra huge bump on the back of the unit. So this is how it looks like with the a more traditional double O style backpack on it. And then here is the unit like that. And once I attach the GN drives or other stuff to it, you can see the difference. So here's how it looks like with the GN condenser on it. Looks actually pretty cool. But again, it extends the profile quite a bit. So we removed the connector right here from the shoulder to expose this hardpoint. And this is where this piece attached to it. So you can have a true GN condenser configuration. So you can see in this configuration is actually pretty cool. So you can see right here, you can create some very unique look to this figure. I really like the asymmetry of this configuration. Looks really cool. And here we have the GM beam rifle. So this rifle here is actually a very, very nice looking weapon. So you can see he can pull off some very nice poses. And the accessories are compatible with Exia as well, so that's actually pretty cool. And here's Exia holding the beam rifle. Alright, so I want you guys to take a look at the difference in profile. As you can see, this whole unit just sticks out a little bit too much, in my opinion, compared to Exia. You know how this thing looks a little bit more flush to the back, especially if you're looking at it at this angle right there. You can see that it kind of sticks out a little bit more due to the fact that, it's a separate piece that plugs into the back of the unit versus being integrated into the suit itself. And you can take Exia's GN drive and pop it right in there. So that definitely give it a very more unique look. Unfortunately, I don't think you can actually fit this GN drive onto the shoulder unit. That is just not a possibility. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. So that kind of sucks. But either way, I think this is definitely a very, very unique look, having a GN drive on the back of the Astraea like that. The Astraea 2 actually. And this is how it looks like with the hardpoint attached. Obviously you have to use that tool to remove the condenser piece and the back piece right there. You got the hardpoint here, and then you can attach a shield. I do not have the Astraea units or the Dynamis, so I can use the show you guys how the GM pistol unit attach. However, you can actually attach a shield to the hardpoint. Well, oddly enough, this peg actually doesn't fit in there. This is actually something I saw in the photo online, and I don't think it actually is designed to fit onto the legs, because nowhere in the manual does it show that configuration. So it's a little weird, somehow someone has managed to attach this thing to the leg unit via these hard points, but it's something that's just not really a feature. So overall, this is a pretty decent one. Some unique features that are, I think newly designed for this figure are the swing out hips right there. This is something that I don't think is present on the Double O. So you have the universal joint here, and you also have a pivot point here for the hips. These are something that is completely not present in the Exia. These things are like made back in 2010 when the Metal Build Exia was first introduced. So yeah, I don't know when the Double O came out. I think maybe a year after Exia, but it does not have any of these features, I think. And you can see it's basically just not just the reuse of the Double O torso. You can see there's a GN condenser in there. That is all newly developed parts for this figure. So yeah, definitely have some new features. And this guy actually weighs a lot more, almost like 1,000 kilogram. No, not kilogram, 1,000 gram. So some unique features on this figure in particular is that it's actually, not completely a reuse of the Double O mode. They actually develop new parts here. I don't have the Double O here to do the comparison, but I can tell you, in my opinion, I think from my observation, uh, these hips are new. These are universal joints right there, and you also have a pivot point. This is a significant improvement over the old design from the Exia. I think this is more like from the Quanta, because the Exia got these ancient hips over 10 years old, and they never made any improvement to it. So the hip articulation on this figure is very, very limited. Well, this guy, you got the universal and you got the pivot point, and it's also not a complete reuse of the Double O frame. You can see right there, there's a GN condenser, that entire chest section, that is a completely newly developed part. So that's really nice. And I think this guy overall is at least 1,000 grams more heavier than the Double O. So this will probably be the heaviest metal build Double O figure currently in existence. So overall, this is a pretty solid figure with a lot of playabilities. Obviously I don't have all the stuff from Exia to attach to this guy, but he has a lot of compatibility features. And I can tell you, with all these extra parts on it, he can probably use most of the stuff on the Double O as well. So. Alright, so in conclusion, I have to rate this figure, I have to give it an 8 out of 10 for a metal build. I do have some personal gripes about it. The color scheme is definitely not something I am too crazy about. It just feels a little bit too prototypish. I mean, take a look at Exia. Look at how vibrant those colors are, and then look at how how toned down these colors. I think if they have done it in like more of a traditional Exia color, I think that would really hit the mark. A little bit of blue, some red in there. Give it at least some resemblance of the Double O, sort of. That would have been really nice. These colors just don't really do it for me. But for the articulation, the significantly improve articulation over the the Double O and the Exia. That is actually a big improvement. For a premium Bandai, I think originally it retails at $250 to $280. Right now it's like over $300 on the aftermarket. I definitely think this guy is worth picking up, just for all the features that it has. I don't know if this guy's ever gonna come back. I think there's probably a chance for this guy to get reissued at some point in the future. But yeah, for now, this is definitely something that I think is worth $300. Yeah, I wanted to give it more of a higher rating, but I can't due to the fact that it is actually lacking some accessories, and they trying to make you buy the Proro XN Unit. That thing is really like just not a good option set. I wish he'd come with something else. Maybe like another set of these condensers, so you can have a more symmetrical look. Maybe like an accessory set to make him look symmetrical. I think that would have been really nice. Or like a GM Bustasaur, like the double O, instead of the Proro XN Unit, which I think, again, don't have a very high opinion of that. So overall, 8 out of 10. I think this is definitely worth picking up. The articulation is significantly improved just in the hip area. But for everything else is what you would expect from a, metal build figure, the usual. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you guys find the information helpful. Thanks for watching. Now, recently, I have been very disappointed with Tamashii Nation releases, especially when it comes to the Robot Spirits line. But I think the metal build, they're still putting some effort into this line. Hopefully we see some really good stuff coming out with the Gundam Seed metal builds and stuff going beyond. I think they are significantly trying to improve their quality and features on this figure, because it seems like they're losing quite a bit of customers to the third-party stuff. In fact, there's a lot of talks about people jumping ship because they just don't feel like metal builds are actually worth some money anymore compared to the third-party stuff. But I think at least for this one, I stand behind my review, my score of 8 out of 10 on this guy. I think he's a pretty good piece. If you guys are considering adding this one to your collection, probably a good idea for the most part. Thanks for watching.